some listening audience. Curtis, can you show us what that looks like and sounds like? Thank you. So Veterans Day is the day that honors those who have served their country in the United States Armed Forces. November 11th is the day these special people are honored. In our country, Veterans Day was not always known by that name. On November 11th, 1918, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, World War II was known as the war to end all wars, ended, and people all over the world rejoiced. The day became known as Armistice Day in honor of the truce of peace that was made on this day. November 11th was designated as a federal holiday in 1938, but shortly after this holiday was declared, World War II broke out. The dream of the war to end all wars was now gone. Many lives were lost during the Second World War, and those who lost loved ones and those who fought for their country in this new war needed to be recognized, just like the patriots of the previous World War. In 1954, Congress changed the name of Armistice Day to Veterans Day in order to honor U.S. veterans of all wars. At this time, President Eisenhower asked all Americans to strive for peace. Today, we here at Fort Belvoir take the day to commemorate the service of our nation's veterans, both across the country and here close to home. Students, as you engage in the day's festivities, take a moment to reflect on all the hard work members of the armed forces have done in the past and continue to do to protect our peace. Up next, please sit back and enjoy this selection from the chorus titled Soldier, This Song I Sing of Thee by John Jacobson and Walter Jack. How about another round of applause for our fantastic, fabulous fifth grade and sixth grade football players. At this point, if we have any sixth grade parents in the audience that would like to go and join their students in the festivities that are outside, you are now dismissed at this time to go and rejoin your students. So for those of you that are staying, up next, we have a super awesome presentation from a group of Buffalo soldiers. So they're here to tell you all about their experiences in service. Oh, I'm going to wait because I see some of my third grade friends aren't quite being respectful. And I really love how my fifth graders are setting a great example. My third grade friends, which direction is the stage? Which direction do you think you should be looking? Yeah, up here. I didn't make my hair all extra big like this for you to not look at it, right? Okay, so just like you've been a super awesome, super respectful audience up until this point, we're going to continue being a respectful audience, which means we're going to use our listening ears. And then if we have time at the end of this portion of the presentation, we'll allow a little bit of time for questions and answers. Give me a big thumbs up if you understand those instructions. Fantastic. You all are such a fantastic audience.
Good morning. We're running a few minutes late, but nevertheless, in many respects, I was born in 1846, East Carolina, Harvest, Louisiana. I was a former slave, a farmer. Now I'm a member of Company F, named U.S. Cavalry. That do I look like a French soldier? From the first one I have with a stranger? Yes. Okay. Actually, my name is Trooper Lynn Hill. I'm the president of DC Chapter 9th and 10th Horse Cavalry Buffalo Soldier. To my left, I have Trooper Preston Wales. You see another trooper? His father was an original Buffalo soldier. He has some artifacts he's going to share with you. He's walking in and out. I don't tell you in person. I just wanted you to take a look for a few minutes. This is a very innocent film. I hope you can understand it.
Each year, CINE, the Council on International Non-Theatrical Events, is proud to present the Eagle and Golden Eagle Awards to qualified film and video productions in recognition of their excellence, and selects them to represent the United States of America in international film and video events abroad.
Now begins a story of heroism that you were never taught in school. It begins here at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, with the dedication of this monument to a name that stirs a sense of recognition, like jarring in some remote corner of the mind. The story of a faithful band of brothers who glory in the name given to them by the very enemies they fought, the Buffalo Soldiers. Thousands from across the country make the pilgrimage to Kansas to hear an address by the man whose dreams sparked this dedication more than 10 years ago. Its highest ranking office is for a group of men that no one knows. Nameless, faceless ghosts from the midst of frontier history until now. The skeleton troops. Nearly 180,000 fought for the Union. 33,000 died. Thousands more fought for the South. But now, many drifted west to become farmers, cowboys, settlers. In 1866, a new standing army announced some startling additions. 2 regiments of cavalry, 2 infantry, all black troops in White Army. So most of those guys come. Hours every month. Regular meals, a human form. The chickens would be provided. Without a corner of our 100 years went by before this story was told. In 1967, Dr. William Blanky wrote the first silver definitive history for the 9th and 10th Cavalry, the Buffalo Soldiers. This the council of the Belvoir. One of the Army's best officers were assigned to come in. That's the 9th Cavalry. And Colonel Benjamin Gridges did the job of organizing the 10th Regiment. The problems were met. Untrained, mostly illiterate ex-slaves and no officers. Assignment to a black unit was not perceived as a career-enhancing move. Army Navy Journal. A first lieutenant of infantry stationed at a very valuable post desired to transfer with an officer of the same grade. On equal terms in a white regiment. But in a white regiment, a reasonable bonus would be accepted. Even General Cutlass said no time. I don't want to serve with no brunette. That's what he called us, brunettes. Then work.
We have been teaching days. We're gonna start out with the clothing that the Buffalo Soldiers wore. A trooper fresh, trooper wears. This is an 1872 uniform I have. The 1876, they have a red piping. The Buffalo Soldiers had hand-me-down clothes. I was one of the first to join the Buffalo Soldiers, and that's why I got the older type of uniform. It got the piping on it. As other troopers come in, you see them with red pipers coming down the sleeves and the collar. We had blacks to fight in every war, from the Industrial Revolution War all the way up to Afghanistan War. We had over 380,000 blacks to fight during the Civil War. After the Civil War ended in 1866, we had 180,000 people out of jobs. So Congress organized an act to organize 6 all-black regiments. The 9th and 10th, 24th, 25th, 38th, 39th, 40th, 41st unit. Now these regiments, they merged later on and joined with the 24th and 25th unit. So you had the 24th, 25th unit, you had the 9th and 10th Horse Cavalry. We're cavalry's. We have the yellow striped cavalry. You see the spurs I have on. We ride horses. That's what the 9th and 10th Cavalry do. The principle of the Buffalo Soldiers, when the settlers was going out west, we was using escorts. Had Indians out fighting. Well, the white man was killing the buffaloes, and that's the source of income. That was the source of livelihood for the Indians. The clothes we wore, as I mentioned, this 67 uniform I have on. Now, this uniform is hot. It's very hot. I only have a t-shirt on this. I'm about to burn up in here. During the summertime, we wore the same uniform. We're hot. We're sweating. But once we start first fire, air cools us off. Here, hold on, John, please. Well, I told you what it was. Does anyone recognize what that is? Okay, now flip it around. Flip it around. Now halfway down, you see an opening. You see the opening?
Right.
Simple, so you had to use the openings. We didn't pull our clothes off, but we had to go to the bathroom. During the winter time, we have a big coat to keep us warm. Trooper Hutton, would you come up, please? Put the coat on. Hold his head. Keep the arm off his head. Keep your hat don't be long. It goes across your head. You don't have to do it. We're going for time. You don't do it. Just turn around. So you notice the sleeves. He can duck and put his hand underneath the sleeves. That was before the style of coats come out today. And the buffalo used every part of the buffalo. They didn't throw away anything. However, it was one that the Indians didn't remove. That was the heart. The heart was sacred to them. The medicine man, he wouldn't have it. You will always leave that heart. Does anyone know? Does anyone know what soldier? You know?
Who's that?
This picture here is the overcoat on. You see that black wood buffalo line? See our complexion, dark complexion. We were first fighters. And to the Cheyennes, they called us buffalo soldiers. And that's how the buffalo soldiers got its name. If time would allow us, okay. Trooper Hutton, stand, please. This is Trooper William Hutton. His father was a resident buffalo soldier. He has a lot of pictures of him in God's face.
For 30 years in the 9th Cavalry. My father now, mind you, born in 1878. Dad was a 30-year man in the 9th Cavalry. Over here you see some pictures of different things. These are authentic pictures that he gave and passed on to me as I grew older. So if you get a chance to whatever or however this may be arranged in whatever manner, I like to go through those things with you and give you some updates on what's really on it, because it's a big history of the real Buffalo soldiers during the period that he was in there, which was basically around 1890 to 1925. Okay.
Teachers, we'll try to get a little interview and get that recorded so that we can upload it and send it to all of you so you can show your classes, okay?
To my right, we have Trooper Ray Newton. Believe it or not, he's not a part of DC chapter. He's from San Diego, California. And by the way, he works here on the installation. I was given his name back in September. One of my friends out in San Diego said, well, we have a trooper coming to DC area. Get in contact with it and put it into work. So I called and got acquainted with it in September. And I talked to Mrs. Elliott a couple of days ago, and she said 700 kids. I said, 700? And I said, there's no way, because the president of the national president is a Washington, D.C. member. He had to go to New Orleans, Louisiana for a funeral. Baltimore, he had a charter member. She's just close to 100 years old. They're having her funeral today. So this left us off at bid. So I called Trooper Newt and asked him, would he come? He said, sure. He said, I work at the Fort Belvoir. Give me 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay. Well, we do have a female Buffalo soldier. Her name is Kathy Williams. During that time, women wasn't allowed to join the Capitol. She changed her name from Kathy Williams to William Kathy. And she was in the military for 2 years before she was discovered she was a female. She had to go on sick call. And Inspector Jones did surgery saw that she was a female.
Awesome. Dolphins, one more time, let's say a really big thank you to our Buffalo soldiers for presenting us. Okay, so up next on our program, our last little portion of the morning, we have a super awesome, I keep saying that, right? Because everything is super awesome when I'm talking about it. We have a really, really great performance from members of the U.S. Army Band Woodwind Quintet. As they're getting set up and run up, do me a favor, everyone stand up. Stand up, 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 and reach up tall, touch the sky. Wiggle your fingers, reach down low, touch your toes. Take your right elbow, right? Some of y'all need to learn right from, this is your right side. Take your right elbow, touch your left knee. Left elbow, touch your right knee. Switch, 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 switch. Clap your hands once. Clap your hands twice. Clap your hands 3 times. And say, shh, as you take your seats. Awesome. I'm going to hand it over to our military band. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Fort Belvoir Elementary. How are y'all doing today? So my name is Master Sergeant Robert Autry, and I am the flute player with the United States Army Woodwind Quintet. We are all soldiers who are stationed with the United States Army Band Pershing Zone at Fort Myer, right outside of Arlington Cemetery. We're only 5 of 250 people in our unit. So we're a really large unit. We do a lot of music. And so we're going to play some patriotic and some American music for you this morning. And then hopefully we'll be able to get 1 or 2 questions from some people and see what you want to kind of ask us about. But we're going to get started with some music. We're going to play a medley of tunes by a composer named Cohen. He wrote a lot of really famous American tunes. You're going to hear several pieces. And luckily in this, you're going to hear Your Grand Old Flag and Yankee Doodle, along with some other things. So sit back and enjoy our Cohen medley.
All right, well, thank you so much. You guys have been a great audience so far. I've been watching from the sides for the whole assembly. Really nice work. Manners are great. We figured we would take a couple questions now so we can get some of those thoughts out here. And I didn't introduce myself. I'm sorry. I am Sergeant First Class Aaron Scott, the clarinetist with the United States Army Woodwind Quintet. So right away, let's see. Your arm shot up pretty quickly here in the front with the blue and black shirt. What's your question? Where do you fight in the Army? That is a great question. Right now, for us personally, the U.S. Army Band, like we had said earlier, we are stationed here right in Washington, D.C. So we're not fighting, but we're here for support through all of the other soldiers and military associations that are here within the area. There are many people across the world that are doing that daily job and fight for us to have our freedom here. Thank you so much. How about towards the back a little, Sergeant Autry?
How long have you been playing the clarinet?
How long have I been playing the clarinet? That's a great question. That's easy to answer. Very long. Let's say, with a quick math, about 30 years. So, there's no reason to act that surprised. Come on. Thank you, though.
I've played the flute for 42 years.
Yeah, Master Sergeant Autry just mentioned too, he's played the flute for over 40 years. Yeah, let's do an on gawk at that. Thank you. Okay, let's just quiet down for a minute so we can hear the next question. We'll wait for a little bit quieter, please.
Go ahead. Yep.
What is the highest ranking?
What is the highest ranking?
Highest ranking in the Army, those are our generals. Now that's a good point too, to be able to bring up what we do. For the band, the conductors, the people that lead everyone, and your teachers that were leading the choir today, those would be our officers. We're thinking lieutenants, captains, and generals. For the players, the singers, and the instrumental musicians, we're all non-commissioned officers. So they're your sergeants that you hear, any of those titles, sergeants, master sergeant, sergeant major. I think we're going to go move on to our next piece. Quickly introducing it, it is called Shenandoah. Now Shenandoah is a great folk tune, but the problem with folk tunes is we don't always know where they originated from. And so Shenandoah is very popular. It's thought to be a sea shanty, which means that this was a song that was sung on the ships by the workers when they were doing their chores. So raise your hand high right now if you are part of a Navy military family. Yeah, so here's my homework for all of you. When you go home and you're doing your chores over this weekend, you need to make sure that you're around the house singing very loudly and just telling your folks that you're singing a sea shanty because they're in the Navy. So Shenandoah here is a nice, lovely, calm piece. Stay quiet as best you can so you can hear all of the wonderful melodies.
Hello, I am Sergeant First Class Morgan, and I'm the bassoonist with the U.S. Army Band Woodwind Quintet. And we hope you enjoyed that piece, Shenandoah. I got to play the melody, so you could probably hear the low sounds that the bassoon makes. And we do have time for a couple questions if we have. Let's see. In the back with the gray shirt. One more time, maybe to this gentleman here.
They want to know our ages.
Oh.
We're your parents' ages.
Ageless, really? I am, I'd say in my 40s, and we are all in our 40s now, or 50s. And so I've been in the Army for a little over 13 years. Yeah.
How long have we all been in one band?
How long have we all been in one band? We've been playing together as an ensemble for, well, I've been in this quintet for about 6 years, and some of the other members have been in for much longer than that, over 10, 12 years. And so members of the ensemble come in, we take auditions to get into the band, and then sometimes you get to play in smaller ensembles and do presentations like the one we're doing for you today. Okay, let's have a couple more questions. Let's see, in the back there, yep.
When was the first time you played baseball? When was the first time you played
fifth grade, and then I switched to bassoon in seventh grade when I was big enough to play it. And I really enjoyed it ever since. We'll have time for more questions, but we want to play a quick march for you right now, and it's called the Washington Post March, and it was like the TikTok famous piece of its day, but it was written in the late 1800s, so you'll recognize this one right away. Hope you enjoy.
Going to change just a little bit of our program by the same composer, but we're going to end our portion of playing with Stars and Stripes Forever, our national march declared by Congress. I'm sure you'll recognize this as well, and it features Master Sergeant Autry on the piccolo, the smallest instrument of the band.
All right, so we're going to allow a little bit of time for about 3 more questions. 3 more questions. Do I get to choose?
Oh, goodness, that's such a hard thing to do. I'm only gonna pick someone that I see that's seated, being respectful. Yes, sir. Quiet. Okay, so I think we want to know, how long have we been musicians? How long have we been in a band of some sort?
So as far as being in our band, I've been in 22 years. I believe our horn player has been in about 22. We had 13 with our bassoon, clarinet, and oboe were all about the same time. As I said earlier, I've been playing the flute, and I was actually in band. I joined in 1980 when I was 12 years old. I was going into 7th grade when I started learning how to play the flute. So we've all been playing our instruments for a really long time, probably the same age that many of your 6th graders, 5th and 6th graders are starting at now. Because have we been using the same instrument? Probably no. We've actually, most people always get a new instrument every so often because instruments kind of wear out. Although the flute that I'm playing, I actually bought years ago when I was in college because it's my own horn, and that was 30 something years. So instruments can last a long time, but people tend to get new ones fairly often. Good question.
Oh, I thought you had someone already.
I do.
Great.
And one of the places that you all perform, the Arlington National Cemetery.
Okay, so we do a lot of work in Arlington Cemetery for funerals, for veterans that are being laid to rest in the Army. But we also play at the White House. We play at the Capitol. We get to travel around and play at different places. Like the Woodwind Quintet just went down to some colleges down in Virginia Tech, and we played something there. We have people that go out and do things at other schools. We're kind of all over. Now, we are not a traveling band. We don't travel for a living. We stay in one place and we really take care of what's here. But we do a lot of jobs at Belvoir. We do a lot of jobs all over the National Capital Region.
Question, and this one's kind of specifically for like my fifth graders that are in band and strings. Let's say I wanted to be a musician of this caliber. Now, as his teacher, I know what it takes. But for my friends that are in band and strings, what's like the most important thing in order to become a musician of this level?
Practice. You cannot learn to play the instrument without taking it out of its case and spending time with it. The reason we're able to play at the level that we play at is because we spent time practicing scales, playing long notes, holding stuff, not doing fun stuff, but doing things that we had to do to be able to build up our skills. How many of you like to run? So how many of you think you run fast? How many think you can run faster? The way that you have to learn how to run faster is by running and practicing and learning skills that allow you to run faster. That's what those scales and long tone and all the stuff that nobody really enjoys doing, because you want to play the piece. You want to play that music. You got to do the other stuff first.
Another super awesome round of applause. So before we wrap up this morning portion of the ceremony, I'm going to wait until I have a listening audience, a respectful audience. So before we dismiss you all to your next portion of the day, I'm going to turn the program over to Mr. Williams, who has a few closing remarks for us.
Thank you, Ms. Giles. I want to start by you all giving yourselves a round of applause. You were a great audience, so thank you for that. I'd like to start my short remarks with a favorite poem in honor of Veterans Day. It's called Hero, and it's by Allison Chambers Cox. Hero. For those who fought on distant shore, who gave without a word, defending us with honor, so gallantly they served. For every boy who left his home, returning there a man, and every woman who made a choice to make serving part of her plan. For every fallen soldier who gave all they could give to guarantee our liberty and the freedom that we live. Each one who served with honor, the brave, the tried, the true, America gives its thanks today, for we see a hero in you. Thank you. I didn't write it, but I I just recited it. Thank you. All right. Again, I want to thank you all, each and every single one of you, our community, those who are currently serving the military, all of our veterans who chose to spend part of your day honored here with us and our students. It means so much to all of us at Fort Belvoir to be able to commemorate this day and to learn a little bit about ceremony, military history, and culture and military careers. As we close our ceremony, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge our Veterans Day Committee led by Mr. Patrick Hoffman, Ms. Bree Giles, and Ms. Dolores Elliott. Without you all, this day would not have been possible. Can we get a round of applause for this committee? Thank you. Thank you to students and staff and families that came out to support as well. Thank you all for coming today. We wish you a wonderful, thoughtful remainder of the day and a lovely Thanksgiving season. This ends our annual Veterans Day ceremony. At this time, students, please look for